Oh yeah, that's right, mother flippers. Mutant Mayhem Wave 2 in full effect, live and direct. And you know what? I gotta say, I like their vibe.
I like your vibe.
Alright, so the cheerleader effect is clearly pretty powerful with these mighty mutanimals. So let's, break it down one by one, have a look at how they go, and then chuck them in with the rest of the gang, shall we? You know what? I think I might have my boy Superfly do the intros.
Genghis Frog.
Don't patronize me.
So, Genghis Frog comes with his patented axe. The toy version comes with a chain that can, clip onto his wrist, I guess, for some scorpion action. If you don't want that on, you could always slide it off. Squeaky, squeaky. And I suppose you could, axe wield in one hand, and I guess you could chain on the other if you wanted to. But I kind of like both together. It kind of, works like his tongue. Chop, chop, chain, chain, chop, chop, chain, chain. I think his sculpt and paint is delightful. I love the lopsided nostrils. I also love how they managed to capture some of that squiggly aesthetic in his frog eyes. The difference in texture and plastic quality between his, shiny amphibious skin and then sort of the more matte of his shirt and pants is really cool. And he's also the only one of the group who comes with an action feature. Bleat, bleat, bleat. Frog tongue. Oh yeah. Bleat. In terms of articulation, unsurprisingly, that head don't move. No waist swivel on this guy, but you do get swivel at the ankle. He's got universals at the shoulder. His shirt is like a separate piece, which is kind of cool. It adds to some of his movement and flow. You could probably take it off. I wouldn't though, because the sleeves will stay on it, but, it gives him some flair.
Right here we got Wing Nut.
Hi! Wing Wave!
So when you first get Wingnut out the packet, you're going to have to plug in her wings, but that is really not a big deal. And they're casting this awesome translucent plastic, which adds to the whole, bat wing skin membrane thing. I think her sculpt is phenomenal, and she actually has quite a lot of paint apps when you consider, everything that's going on. The teeth, the inside of the mouth, the sculpt of the fur, the goggles, the robo suit, all of it works really well for me. Also, absolutely love, look at that old school Ninja Turtle style pop on, pop off belt. I remember watching the movie and being like, why is she wearing like a mech suit sort of on her top half? And then just now I've been like, she has robotic arms because Bat's arms are their wings. And so Superfly must have whipped these up for her so that she could, I don't know, eat hot dogs. In terms of accessories, you get this, great Batman-esque gun.
Where does he get those wonderful toys?
And she also comes with this real chunky batarang. Her articulation is pretty good. Her head's just on a swivel. You've got like a heavily sculpted universal at the shoulder. Elbows go both ways because, robot. And wrist articulation. She also has no waist swivel, but you get universal at the hip, little knee bend, and fixed ankles. How cool does she look? What a sick reinterpretation of the character.
That Scumbug. She only speaks sperm.
Next up we got Mrs. Roach Scumbug, sporting a really impressive wingspan with some great textures on those translucent wings. Her sculpt is a little more hectic, so her paint apps aren't quite as crisp, especially on the face, but still very cool. Accessory wise, she comes with blah scum, blah slime that you can plug in, because this was her most memorable aspect in the movie, right? And then on top of that, she comes with a super cute, slightly spoilerific accessory of a framed picture of Splinter. Aww. If nothing else, doesn't that just make for, an awesome set building piece for your sewer lair playset? Articulation wise, her head's on like a little bit of a ball joint, so you can throw some, different shapes around the place. Universal shoulders, wrist swivel, no elbow bend, which is a little bit of a bummer. Universals at the hips, a knee bend that's kind of built into her like knee pads. So there's not a huge range of motion out of those, but, decent enough. And then those outer wings can, hinge around the place as well.
And that's Mondo Gecko.
Hey, what's up, bros? Come on, I'm a hugger. Get in here. good.
That one seems cool.
And then lastly, we got Mondo Gecko. Who didn't love this guy? Who doesn't love Paul Rudd?
I love you, dude.
His sculpt is incredible. The fact that they picked out so many of his, like, you know, teenage spots is almost a little unprecedented in Playmate style, right? And look at all the different colored beads and stuff that he's rocking. The decos on his shirt. He's like Marty McFly puffer. He's just phenomenal. Do be a little bit aware, my copy at least, right? He's got one perfect pupil and one slightly scratched pupil. Not the end of the world, but something to watch out for. Look at how crisp that tongue is. That must be a separate, like, molded plastic paste, right? Can't imagine the paint job being that crisp. But he's got a little bit of a bowl-jointed head. You can't get a huge range out of it, or it might even just be a swivel head that's got a bit of wiggle room. Universal shoulder, universal elbow, wrist swivel on both arms. Then he's got universal hips that are, you know, slightly inhibited by his oversized tee. Pretty decent knee and an ankle swivel. And then accessory-wise, he has this super toyetic skateboard. It's got Mondo Gecko on it, which he has, you know, spots on both feet to be able to ride. And what I love is the OG detail of having the roller skate on his tail. His backpack can also come off, but I don't know that it's super meant to because his straps stay behind. And then one thing that I'm not a super huge fan of, he comes with a frisbee with an awesome sort of tie-dye pattern on it. But rather than just, you know, letting it clip into his hand and him being able to throw it like a frisbee throws, it's got this massive peg. So it kind of sits on top of his hand, more like he's a waiter. Alright, so in the immortal words of one pixelated Daniel, it's comparison time. So let's pick Genghis Frog alongside his OG counterpart, Genghis Frog. You can see how they got there. I dig it. Now, sadly, I don't have an OG wingnut, but I can do you a Kirby bat. They kind of got a Batman man-bat thing going on, don't they? We got ourselves a couple of scumbuggers. Don't tell Splinter. My bad fan if I like the new one more than the original. And lastly, let's roll in a couple of Mondo Geckos. I mean, the original Mondo Gecko is about as 90s as it gets, but I love Paul Rudd.
I love you, Holmes.
And here's the new wave kicking it alongside the turtles. This figure line has filled out real quick, hasn't it? And to finish off, let's have a look at the whole mutant squad so far. So I know that, like, this iteration of the franchise in general, people have had some mixed feelings about. I, for one, love the art style, love the designs, love the, you know, the flavor and the vibe that they're throwing down with these ones, and personally, I can't wait to see more content in this world of the Turtles. And I gotta say, I think Playmates on the whole, like, there's some, you know, some bits that aren't fantastic, but these supporting mutant characters, I think these are some really exceptional toys. The sculpts are really crisp, the accessories are good, the paint apps are, you know, plentiful, which is a bit of a surprise for modern Playmates, to be honest. I think they're really killing it with this line. I think this has been a great thing in general, and, you know, Seth Rogen knows what's up. So I guess there's only really one mutant left for us to get in this line.
We got Ray Fillet. Stop singing, fool. Just say your name normal, man.
Ray Fillet.
What do we think? Where do you all fall in on this new Mutant Mayhem world of the Turtles? Have you got these figures? You gonna get these figures? Have you got any of the other figures? Hit me up in the comments below. Let's get nerdy with it. Thank you for watching. If you had a good time, click the clicks, like the likes, do all that stuff. You know what to do, right? You know. So until then, shell you later.